Okay, welcome everyone to the Excellent Execution Masterclass. So we are going to be starting with an execution prototype survey where you are to identify what kind of person you are. If you are usually motivated to start and continue when you're in a small group of people pursuing an idea, or are you that kind of person that is self-motivated to start, but you are also able to continue and grow. Or number three, you are a person that starts, you struggle to continue and finish, or you're not a starter at all, but you're great at collaborating and giving advice to others, or you're usually motivated to start an idea only when there is pressure. So this execution prototype survey is just to help us identify what kind of person you are. So I have some answers in already. Thank you everyone for volunteering your execution prototype, right? So we have, yes, Visionary Reliami says, I am a starter. Awesome, awesome. So the whole essence of this survey is really to help you understand what kind of person you are, and then help you to play to your strength. So if you are a self-starter, it then means that you are that kind of person that you will need to leverage on other people who can help you to continue your vision and even take it on to the next level of growing it or scaling it. If you identify to be someone who is who only kickstarts an idea when under pressure, it then means that you need to create a system of execution around you that helps to put pressure on you. Yes, you can actually exhibit more than one type. Okay, that helps to put pressure on you. So, for instance, when you commit your idea to the public, that's a lot of pressure. For instance, you invite people for a program, or you invite people, you announce to people that you have this product that you want to sell, that they should come to your shop, or you invite people to say that you are launching this particular program. Whatever your ideas are, the fact that you are putting an external pressure on yourself will help you to achieve that goal. So when you understand your execution prototype, it helps you to understand the strategy, your execution strategy that would allow you achieve your goal, right? So if you're that kind of person who, for instance, is motivated to start and continue in a small group of people, you need a team. That's what it suggests. It suggests that you will not only thrive in starting your goal by yourself or your idea by yourself. You need to identify people around you whom you can sell the idea to and probably call them on to partner with you on this idea so that you are able to move it forward. So those are people that you probably want to give a share of the business to, so that together you can build this product, because you know that you are not great at, just starting an idea in isolation. You need other people to come along, right? So, and if you're that person that you are self-motivated, you can start, you can grow, fantastic. But you still need systems in place to help you execute. If you are a self-starter, I already addressed that. If you are not a starter, and what you are great at is at collaborating and giving advisory and all of that, what you can do is to partner, collaborate with someone whom you know is great at starting ideas, or who is self-motivated, and then you join that person in that business by offering advisory, offering consulting. You be the person in charge of, for instance, developing the document, developing the strategy, etc. Because you are playing to win. You are playing to your strength. So you see how important it is. You see how important it is for you to always know what your execution strengths are. Okay, so I'm going to then move on to just discuss with us what, some of the strategies that we can deploy. But before I do that, let me close the poll. So before I do that, I want to just share with you, what we have done for you in this past 1 month, so that you can conceptualize it and use this to also to your benefit. So we have provided for you tools and tasks to help you execute. So for instance, we shared with you some tools that will help you to plan. I know some people have utilized these tools while some are still not able to fully utilize the tool. If you're still having challenges with using the tool. Thank you, Jaye. Yes, I should get your feedback. What do you think about the prototype that I just described and the solutions? Jaye says it makes so much sense. Yes, what do you think? Can you already relate with some of the comments that I made, right, about how you can leverage your execution prototype to your own advantage? So we have shared with you so far a book to help you overcome self-limiting thoughts that you can actually draw confessions from, depending on the self-limiting thoughts that you most have challenges with, right? The Wheel of Life tool, for instance, is a goal clarity tool to help you clarify which area of your life you can decide to focus on. The Goal Ball Tracker is a goal planning tool to help you identify how to break down your big vision or your big goals into tiny chunks. And we have also paired you with an accountability partner who will also be like your sounding board, and that person you can go to when you need to be held accountable for your milestone. We have provided a personality test, a fearless profile exercise, mentoring guide, and then our masterclasses. And all of these tools are linked to different tasks. If you have been diligent with following through the task, by now you should have absolute clarity on what your goal is. By now you should have some systems for execution, right? The accountability pairing, for instance, is a system that helps you to execute. The fact that you do not know that person, however, we carefully selected who your accountability partner is because we wanted you to have someone that can really and hold you through the process, or someone you can also share your expertise with. So whoever your accountability partner is also a form of system to help you achieve. Your coaching squad lead is a form of system to help you achieve, right? Your masterclass is a form of system to also help you achieve. Okay, so please leverage on those. And then we'll move on to our second discussion for today, which is a question that I would love to check in with you on. And that question is, what action have you taken being afraid or not being sure of in the past 4 weeks? What have you done without absolute clarity? What have you done without absolute clarity? Do you please share my screen so that visual learners can also go along? What have you done without? So you can unmute yourself, you can put in the chat box what you have done without absolute clarity. Have you done anything afraid in the past 4 weeks? Have you done anything being afraid, or irrespective of being afraid, or you have just been in your comfort zone? What have you done afraid in the past 4 weeks? Okay, let it be a yes or no answer because of time. Yes, no, I'm still in the process. Yes, Jay says, once I put out a 7-day challenge on Instagram earlier in the year, it was hard for me, but because I had pressure, it helped me execute. Absolutely. That's why I don't agree with people that say, don't put pressure on yourself, be calm. Yes, don't put, so there has to be a balance to it. It depends on what you're trying to do. Pressure is good, if you ask me, but you need to know how to balance it. When you put, if you are someone that without pressure you don't exert, you have to apply that pressure by yourself for you to produce. It's just like you squeezing juice out of an orange. Until that pressure is applied, the juice will not come out, right? So you need to step out of your comfort zone by putting a level of demand, placing a demand on your talent, placing a demand on your genius for you to step out of your comfort zone and do what you're meant to do. Okay, so thank you for sharing that experience. And then Dio says, yes, I have done something afraid in the past 4 weeks. Excellent. Should I assume that every other person has not done anything afraid? All you have been doing are things that you are comfortable with, right? So when you do things afraid, it helps you grow. That's the point I'm trying to make. When you do things afraid, it helps you grow, right? And I have 5 litmus tests that could help you really understand whether you are growing or not. Number 1, I call it fulfillment. Fulfillment. If you feel fulfilled, you feel a deep sense of satisfaction within yourself constantly, you are growing. You are growing. If there's a deep-seated form of fulfillment, even if you're not doing what is popular or what everybody is doing, you do something unique, but there's a sense of fulfillment in what you're doing, you are growing. Number 2, litmus test, transformation. If you are doing something better than before, let's say before it takes you 5 hours to 5 hours to conduct a successful meeting with your staff before they finally understand the vision that you're trying to cast to them. And then recently you started doing it within 2 hours. Or in fact, you can even do it within 1 hour. When you call for a meeting, everybody understands what you're doing and they get to work immediately. That's a sign of growth. So growth doesn't necessarily have to be in the public victories. That's the point I'm making. And I hope you're writing. I'm going to be using some of these frameworks to draw out the points. So growth doesn't necessarily have to be in the public victories. It could be in you being able to see little signs of transformation, like doing things better than before. Habits. Maybe before you used to struggle to wake up to execute your personal goals. All you normally would do would be the things they're used to doing. You go to work, you attend to your family. That's your norm. But recently, you started to make out time, for instance, to wake up to do some of the things you wish to do personally. You are forming new habits. You now read more. Before, you used to be a very poor reader, but now you're able to pick up a book to read. You know, we have several examples like that. You are growing. That's what I'm trying to say. Number 3, improved performance. If you started setting goals and achieving them faster and better, then you are growing. Number 4, if you see issues from people's perspective without it affecting the core of you, who you are, or how you respond and behave, then you're growing. For instance, somebody gives you a feedback, but in a very poor approach. Person criticizes your work, right, in a derogatory manner. But then it doesn't affect who you are at the core. You are, in fact, even empathizing to say that maybe she had a bad day. You are actually growing emotionally. You are growing in your empathy. And you're not allowing that stop you from moving on. For instance, you got a rejection letter. You didn't get a deal. A deal didn't go through for you. A deal you had so much anticipated was going to go through, right? Or you recorded a course and the course just stops midway and it disappears. You know how painful that could be, and you can't find it anywhere in your inbox. And you're still able to say, you know what, Tosin, calm down. What just happened now? What do I need to improve on? And you're not agitated. You are also growing. So that's a sign of growth. And lastly, when you get unsolicited feedback from someone just say, oh, you're very good with business. I got that comment this week. But say, hey, you're a very good business person. I didn't solicit for it. It wasn't like I issued a feedback form to say, please, am I a good person? Yes or no? Do I receive feedback positively? Yes or no? Am I a good communicator? Yes or no? Somebody just comes to you and say, Baba today, you don't communicate better. That's a sign of growth. Does this make sense to you? Tell me in the chat. Thank you. Thank you for your feedback. Okay, thank you so much. So now, why is execution very critical? Execution is critical because, number 1, execution is critical because time is a limited commodity. Time is a limited commodity. And the earlier you start growing deliberately or purposefully and not sleepwalking through life, the better for you. It is very critical to have that clear understanding that time is limited. At most, maybe the average expectancy now is about how many years? Last I checked, it was 65. I'm not sure anymore. Life expectancy keeps reducing these days, right? So the earlier you start, the better. You will not die. You will live to fulfill your purpose on earth. You will not die. However, I attended someone very close to me, passed on last year, and she was 43. By the time they read her bio, one of the comments that most people said most was like she asked, it was as though she knew she was going to pass on. It was at that burial we knew that she was actually battling with a terminal disease. She had read up to the PhD level. She was intentionally impacting lives. She had released up to like 10 singles. She was a deacon. She was the deputy vice chancellor of a university in the US. She had already done achieved a lot. It was as though she knew she was going to exit. So she was just 43 years old. In fact, I lost three close people to me last year. Another person was 44 years old, and so on. So, but I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm just trying to tell you that time is limited. If you don't get on to do what is most critical to you now, right? I just don't want you to regret in the future. I just don't want you to regret in the future because you have been given all that you need for life and godliness. You have been given all that you need to succeed in life. Actually, you were created to be a success already from your creator. Everything that you need is there. So if you do not do what you're supposed to do, it is your fault. It is not going to be any other person's fault. So time is limited. I want you to put in the chat box, time is limited. Don't think you have all the time to do all the things in the world. Time is limited. Time is limited. And living with intent is very important. And that's why execution is critical. Number two, lives are connected to you. It's not all about you, your family, and that's all. No. We need your spice. We need your spice. It is when you contribute your spice that this world will be a better place. We need your spice. So please, lives are connected to you. Imagine if, imagine if, imagine who is the creator? Okay, imagine if Mark Zuckerberg, for instance, did not start Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, etc. Imagine if he didn't start. Then today we would not even have this opportunity of using these platforms. So if you don't start that idea that God has given to you, you are denying us. And guess what? Is there a Muslim on this call? I want to be sure I'm capturing everyone. Okay, we are all Christians. Awesome. So what I want to say is, if you don't do your part, there is an agenda out there that is being sponsored by the kingdom of hell. So when you are meant to be a light and salt in our generation, you are not doing your part, then you are not contributing your quota, and then you're allowing darkness to thrive. That's it. You're allowing darkness to thrive. And remember, the process is a journey. It's a journey. Yes, I want you to be scared. It's a journey. And the journey starts with discovery. Discovery. You need to get on that journey. Either the journey of discovery or the journey of developing, or the journey of dominating. You need to get on that journey. You need to get on the journey, right? So we need your quota. There is an agenda being sponsored out there. It is when you, as a child of God, you do your part, that you are able to quench the darkness that is out there. So you can see why it's critical. Now, I want us to go to the critical barriers to execution. And then there is another poll that we want us to discuss around. Okay? If you're okay, let me just launch that poll. So quickly, tell me, how would you categorize your biggest challenge? So I have on the screen some challenges. The first is in clarity. You can choose more than one, okay? Ouch. I no choice. Okay, it's fine. You can't choose more than one in this case because of the way I set up the quiz. It's okay. But how would you categorize your biggest challenge? At least it will help me to know which one is your biggest, truly your biggest challenge. Is this clarity, you not knowing what you want? Or you know what you want in bits and pieces, but not the full picture? Or is it an execution barrier where you know enough about the idea, you have the idea, but you are not sure how to execute it? Is that your biggest challenge? Or your challenge is that you know enough about the idea and how to start executing. However, you feel overwhelmed with all that is going on in your life right now. There is a lot going on. So executing your God-given idea is even the least of your problem right now. And you don't even know, you feel overwhelmed with work, with family, with other demands, maybe your health challenge, different things happening to you at the moment. Or number four, it's a belief barrier where you know enough about the idea. However, you are scared. You have some self-limiting thoughts that is stopping you. Or is it that you are not physically strong enough at the moment, or you're not in the right frame of mind? You're not mentally strong or psychologically strong at the moment, or you're not even emotionally strong enough to go after your dreams or ideas, or you just generally feel incapable to work on that idea because it is so big. You know, sometimes when you think of your vision, you're like, how will this ever happen? How will I reach 1 million people? And you feel so big and you are incapacitated by that, right? Or you don't even have, or the thought of the funds that is required to offset your vision, it's even um, making you afraid at the moment, and you're not willing to start small. You want to start at the highest level, or you don't have an individual or personal growth plan yet. Which of this would you say is your biggest challenge? Let us put only one person, please, because of time. We have a lot to address today, so I would really love for us to quickly answer the questions. Yes, yes, yes. Let's answer the question. Time is ticking. Which of this would you say is the biggest barrier? Which of this would you say is your biggest barrier? Thank you. Babatunde, Damope, Jaye, Aderonke. Please, let's put in our responses. Yes, 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 yeah. Execution barrier. I know enough about the idea, but not sure of how. Okay, okay. I know enough about the idea. I know how, but I feel overwhelmed with all that is going on in my life right now. I know what I want in bits and pieces, but not sure of the full picture. Awesome. Awesome. Yes. Dio, how many people do we have on the call? Only 5 out of 11 are participating. So we have 11 people. So let's say 10 or 9. I'm expecting 9 responses. Okay. Please put in, vote for your barrier. Which one is the most prominent barrier? So I'm going to end the poll.
Please, can you post the barriers? I can't see them on my screen.
You can't see them on your screen. Is that what you mean?
Yes, I can't see the barriers on my screen. I thought you said we were going to post them.
Okay, I'm sharing it through Zoom poll. So you're supposed to see it. Is any other person having this challenge? Can you see it? Am I the only one seeing the questions?
No,
Please,
no,
I need your feedback.
I can see it. I've answered already.
You can see it, right?
Yeah, it came.
And I can see it too. I've done the poll, so it came up.
It came up, exactly.
Done the polls now.
Yes. So Visionary says she cannot see it.
I can see it now. Thank you.
I'm not sure why. I guess you can see it. Okay, okay. So please put in your answer. Let's see. Which one is your biggest barrier? Which one is your biggest barrier? So I'm just going to give one more minute and I would end the poll. Okay. Yeah, so it's important for us to identify. Yes. So the biggest barrier that most people have identified here is how to execute. Interesting. How to execute. And I'm really glad that we have most people in this category, because this masterclass is going to really shed some light on how we can execute. So let's move on. Yes. So moving on to some of the barriers to execution. So one of the critical barriers, right, is a planning barrier. One person chose planning barrier, right, which basically has to do with all the barriers regarding how to structure the goal itself, right? In somewhere, for instance, sorry, Damoku, I'm going to put you in the spotlight here. You have many barriers, so you have many goals, so you're very prone to having multiple barriers or multiple planning barriers, because you have 4 goals running at the same time. So when you have multiple goals, you could fall victim of planning of having a planning barrier. So what do? Simplify your goal. That's a simple solution. Simplify your goal. Prioritize your goal. What do I need to do first? What is most important to me at this phase of my life? Right? How can I? It's okay. Put all the dreams. Write out everything you want to do. And thank God we talked about journaling. Write it out. Just keep pouring your mind on in your journal or on the book. Keep pouring your mind. However, go back to structure it to say that in this year 2025, this is what I want to achieve at the end of the year that would give me fulfillment. When at the end of the year I achieve this, then I would know that I have aligned myself to God's plan and purpose for me this year. So that's how one question you can ask yourself to help you plan. What is most important in my purpose journey this year? What is critical? What is that domino? You know what a domino is? It's that most important thing that once I do this, it's going to significantly have impact on other areas of my life. That is what you should prioritize. I hope that is clear. So another reason why you could have planning barrier could be when you do not have clarity. And that was why we took our time to have 2 weeks of clarity to say that, okay, in terms of this big goal that you have set, this is how you can prioritize it. This is what you can use to break it down. The execution goal tool, for instance, is something you can use to break it down, right? Dio, you don't need to share any screen. You could just put it on comfort zone. Yes. Okay. Then another critical reason why people have planning barrier could also be because they set unrealistic or complex goals. You want to have 100 coaching clients in 1 week. That in itself could lead to overwhelm, and eventually it's not realistic enough for you to achieve. Then you will not do anything about it. Or when you have unstrategic goals. What do I mean by unstrategic goal? To set a goal that is not important in this phase of your life. You want to become a speaker when you should be developing competence. You want to start speaking, you are jumping the gun. You should be developing competence and gaining roots downwards. So the goal you have set is not strategic to your purpose. It's not strategic to your vision right now. That's not what you should be focusing on in this season of your life. So in that situation, you will be faced with planning barrier because you don't even have the competence. You don't have the competence to achieve your goal. Let me know in the chat box if this makes sense to you. And if you have other planning barriers that you think could also be preventing you from achieving your goals. Then moving on to the second barrier, which is the mindset or belief barrier. Thankfully, nobody chose that, but I know that this is a barrier for most of us. Especially when we are at the first stage of executing an idea where we feel so excited, and so when we are at the second stage, after we feel the excitement and then we get to the real execution phase. I like to see execution like a plane taking off. You know, when the plane is taking off, when you get into the plane, you settle in, you buckle your seatbelts, and you're ready. And just before the plane starts taking off and then you start experiencing turbulence, what happens? You are first of all at the excitement phase. So, hey, finally, yes, I'm going on this trip. I'm so excited. You are happy. And then as the plane is taking off gradually, the plane experiences some turbulence in the air before it stabilizes. So many people chicken out at the face of turbulence. At the face of turbulence, every worthwhile goal will face turbulence. I want you to note that down. Every worthwhile goal will face turbulence. So you will go through the excitement phase, and it's fantastic for you to be excited about your goal. However, be prepared for a turbulent phase. And when you go through your turbulence, what will take you through your turbulent phase is when you have the right mindset. When you have the right mindset. So the mindset of, first of all, having a realistic expectation of this goal. It's something you should consider. And I would still delve into the right mindset later, but note that number one, you need to take ownership and fully commit to your goal. Commit to it. So many times you do not achieve your goal because you are not committed to it. You're expecting somebody else to execute it for you. You feel that once you have that beautiful dream, that's all. No, that's just the beginning. That's just the beginning. The phase of ideation, when probably God gives you that idea, puts it in your heart, or you begin to see the problem everywhere. Have you noticed that it is when you have an idea about something, that's when you begin to see it everywhere. That's when you begin to identify that, so these people, I can begin to supply drinks for them. Oh, so these people to this school, so they don't have, they don't serve this particular kind of drinks during their break. Okay. In fact, there are so many women who are their menopausal phase and are facing health challenges just because you have that idea. So you begin to see, it's called the law of attraction. You begin to see all of a sudden what you were not seeing before. You are still at the excitement when this is happening. You see what I'm saying? So you need to take ownership of that idea beyond the excitement phase. You need to take ownership to say that this idea is also going to go through some other phases, but because I'm responsible for doing my part of executing this goal, then I take ownership. It is my vision. And when you have a high level of commitment to that vision, then you will be passionate to push through the turbulence phase. You see what I'm saying? And then another mindset barrier could be when your goal is not ambitious enough. If it is too small, if it is not connected to a bigger picture or your vision, you will not execute. You will not. You will not. So what do you do when you're having a belief barrier? What you need to do is to work on your mindset. And that's why I have recommended 2 books for you, Beyond Boundaries and Battlefield of the Mind. These are books that will help you to recognize your growth burden and help you to begin to deal with your mind. So perhaps check yourself. This goal that I have set, perhaps the reason I'm not achieving it is because I am having a mindset barrier. I have not taken ownership of this goal enough. This goal is not motivating me. It is not attractive to me. It is not pushing me because it is too small, or because it is not even aligned to my personality. I've set a goal, for instance, to develop an analytic tool, and I am not analytical. You can see that it is not aligning. Okay, so it could also be all of that and all of the growth burdens that I'm quickly going to touch on later on. And then the third critical pillar, there are many reasons why people don't execute, but I have grouped this into 3 critical pillars. And then the third critical pillar, why people do not execute, could also be because it is because of a spiritual barrier. When you have little faith, when you have low conviction in your goal, when you do not have your vision aligned with your goal, if you are not convinced about it and you are not also involving your creator in the process of executing this goal and releasing your faith for it to be done, especially when you move past the excitement phase and you're going into the execution phase or the turbulent phase, right? You need faith to execute. You need faith to execute. You need to believe that this dream will come true. You need to believe that this dream will serve people. It will solve challenges in the community. It will contribute to people's lives. It will help people to become better. This goal is enough to, it's aligned to my purpose, and it will give me income, impact, and influence. When you sell your goal to yourself that way, it helps you to release your faith towards achieving your goal. You see what I'm saying? So execution barrier in terms of how to execute it. If you are able to overcome your planning barrier, your mindset barrier, and your purpose or spirituality barrier, you will be able to execute. You have planned, you know clearly what this goal is. you have broken it down, you have simplified it and prioritized it, right? You have broken it down into tiny steps, right? You have the right mindset towards it, knowing that this goal will not achieve itself. And I have to take it day by day. I have to daily show up for it. And then I have to release my faith for this goal to really fulfill its purpose. You will execute. That's a simple roadmap in terms of how to execute your goal, right? So you need to have that overarching understanding about your goal, that this goal is going to require a different person for it to be executed. You need to become someone else. And that's why I would always say, what's that my favorite quote that I would always say about the goal? What is the goal? Let me see who has been following this program. The goal is not the goal. What is the goal? What is the goal? What is the goal? It is who you are becoming. Thank you, Jai. So it is who you are becoming. That is the goal. That is the real goal. Okay, so this is just a summary in terms of the critical barriers to execution. I want to ask this question now. Has this provided enough clarity or some level of clarity for you in terms of how to execute that goal that you wrote at the beginning? Which of the barriers, or do you have clarity to overcome the barrier that you've selected in the poll for your goal? Now that you know that it's an execution barrier, it means that you know enough about the barrier, but you're not sure of how to execute it. So in terms of being sure of how to execute it, you need to go on the journey of acquiring knowledge about the goal. You need to go on the journey of planning the goal. You need to go on the journey of having the right mindset about the goal. I need to go on the journey of faith. That's how to execute. I have a lot of knowledge. You know already from your response. You said you know this idea, you know it. But how? The how would require you planning, sitting down and writing and saying, okay, these are the things I want to do. Then I now prioritize. I understand who my customers are. I understand my channel of communicating this goal. I understand what the needs of these customers are. I'm going to share a framework with you later that could help you with planning, right? And I've prioritized my goal to say that this is what I want to achieve first, this is what I want to achieve second, and my goal is strategic. It is not unstrategic. It is not a goal that is not even aligned to the season of life you are in. And you have the right mindset to say that this goal, I'm going to take it step by step. This year, 2025, this year I want to focus on building a solid structure and launching my product. That's what my focus is. And I've put my attention on doing that. And then you release your faith. That's how to execute. That's a simple framework. Does it make sense? Does it make sense? Please, let me have your response. Does it make sense? So quickly, I'll move on to group burdens. I mentioned that the belief barrier is something. Thank you. Acquire knowledge, planning, prioritization, mindset, release your faith. Thank you. Yes. So growth burdens. I've called growth burdens as like your showstoppers, especially when it comes to your mindset, right? You need to cast all your burdens. You need to cast all your burdens onto God, because He's the one that cares for you. But sometimes we carry this burden. We'll carry it, on ourselves, and it prevents us from executing the way we should. So I highlighted, because of time, I want you to go through everything. Some burdens like past failures. Because you have failed before doesn't mean you will not succeed again. It doesn't mean you cannot try again. Another is fear. And this is one big good burden that holds a lot of us down, right? So it's a faith process. I want you to type in the chat box. The process of executing my goal is a faith process. It's a faith process. You need to go on a journey of faith. And faith is what? You believing that the things that you want that you believing that your goal will happen. That's it. That's it. Believing that it will happen. Just go on that faith journey to say that, yes, I'm doing my part. God will do His part. It will happen. I will see my dream come to bear. I will see my goals executed, right? It's a faith process. And that's where, the place of confession also comes in the process of achieving your goal. So let go of the fear. Fear, we say, is false evidence appearing real, right? Let go of the fear. Let go of the fear. Do not allow fear hold you back. Guess what? 95% of the issues we face are caused by that. 95 of the fear issues we face, right? That we think is that we are afraid of are not real. So what I mean is only 5% of these issues are real. The issues that we are afraid of are real. 95% of the issues are not real. They are not. So stop being afraid. Stop being afraid of sometimes you're afraid of what people would say. Now I'm beginning to develop my curriculum. I'm putting myself out there. I'm building my personal brand. All people start saying about me. Who cares? You should focus on who is backing you up, who has sent you. Why are you doing what you're doing? That's why your conviction should be strong. Right? And guess what? People love to see you succeed. People love to associate with success. So if you're afraid of putting yourself out there because of what people will say, the same people that you're afraid of that would talk are the same people that love to associate with success. They're actually waiting for you to succeed so that they can associate with you. So go ahead and succeed. I'm giving the permission to succeed. I'm giving the permission to go ahead and do your thing. Go ahead and succeed, and you will see that people would want to be your friend. Okay, so do not care what people say, right? Because that's not important. What is important is why you're doing it, who is backing you up. Okay? Remember, you do not have the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. That's another good word in fear. Some people are afraid of success. That was one of my barriers. I was afraid of what will happen to my children. What will happen? Will I have time to take care of them? Guess what? There will be a way. Once you start that journey of pursuing your God-given ideas, you will attract the necessary results, the resources needed to execute the goal. You will attract necessary people and support system required to support you in the journey of executing that goal. Do you understand? So do not be afraid. I want you to put in the chat box, I let go of fear. I let go of the fear of mistakes. I let go of the fear of imperfection. So for some of us, that's our fear. We are afraid of putting out a work that is imperfect. It's okay. Will perfection help? Nobody. You have to start and you iterate till it is perfect. It doesn't start perfect. It doesn't. You iterate until it is perfect. So some of us are afraid of making mistakes. Some of us are afraid of success. Some of us are afraid of failure. It is a faith process. Number three, some of us want to stay in our comfort zone. That's another good word in comfort. Me, I love to lounge. I love baby girl life as well. I also want to be a wife, full housewife, but purpose will not allow me rest. Purpose will not allow me rest. Okay, so comfort zone will not help you. Any worthwhile goal, anything you do in comfort, it means that thing is beneath you. It means it's already beneath you. You've gained mastery over that thing. A worthwhile goal, your next level will require you to stretch. That God-given idea that you need to execute, the next milestone in your vision would require you to stretch. You have to challenge yourself. It's just like a rubber band. Immediately you stretch a rubber band, it doesn't return back to the original position. It expands. So that's how we are. You will keep expanding. Your capacity will keep increasing when you step out in faith. But if you do not step out and you stay in your comfort zone, you will not grow. Do you understand? You'll be setting yourself up for failure when you stay in your comfort zone. Some people, their growth burden is uncertainty or absolute clarity. Some of us, we want 100% clarity. In our clarity model, one of the quotes that I put there is that clarity reveals itself in momentum. If you don't take the first step, you cannot take the second step. It is when you take the first step that it becomes clearer what you're supposed to do next. With the picture that just came to my mind now is when you're traveling, you're going on a road trip, and then you're about to take a curve. If you don't go close to the curve, you won't know what is coming. You won't see the incoming vehicle. That's how it is. You have to keep moving, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. A lot is dependent on you. Remember that I said that execution is critical because of the lives connected with you, because there's an agenda that you need to counter. Those that know they are going to be strong and they will do exploits. Time is going. Time is going. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Wake up and smell the coffee. Wake up from your slumber. Wake up and do that thing that God has put on your heart. And you have all that it takes. You don't need absolute clarity. Lines upon lines, precept upon precept. Here a little, there a little. That's it. That's the principle. Clarity. I want to put in the chat box. Clarity reveals itself in momentum. It is when you move, that's when you become clearer. If you don't take the right step in the right direction, you will not know what to do next. This program never started like this. It started with three entry-level professionals. Started with 3 entry-level professionals. And then we had another cohort and then another cohort. This is the 3rd cohort and it's getting better. You see what I'm saying? Number 5, fixed mindsets. That's another growth body. Why you're not executing? Fixed mindsets. If you think that once you face a challenge, once you face a difficulty, remember that turbulence analogy that I gave when the plane is flying. Once you face turbulence, imagine if the pilot, after facing turbulence, says, you know what? Passengers, I'm sorry, you have to calm down. The plane is not able to move anymore because of the turbulence. What will happen? You will say that pilot is incompetent. Isn't that what you will say? You say the pilot is incompetent. It's the same thing with you. When you back out, when there is a challenge, you are incompetent. I'm sorry. I'm being a harsh coach today. When you back out, immediately you face turbulence, you are being incompetent and you may not be fit for the job. Don't have a fixed mindset towards your goal. Rather, embrace lifelong learning. Lifelong. What happens if I don't do it tomorrow? Yes. If you are supposed to do it for 3 years, you do it and close it and move on to other things. Don't have a fixed mindset about your goal. However, be quick to obey. Be quick to obey. Be quick to be execution biased. Be quick to obey. Be quick to obey. It is when you obey that clarity comes. If you don't do it quickly, it will go. You will lose the momentum. You will lose the adrenaline, that pressure to do it. If you don't do it quickly, be quick to obey. I want to put in the chat box, I am quick to obey. I am quick to obey God. I'm quick to obey that nudge in my heart to do certain things about my goal. Be quick to obey. Okay? Be a lifelong learner. Know that if I fail, good. I'll fail forward. Failure is good. I want you to have that mindset. Failure is good. It's good to fail. Fail forward. Fail quickly. Fail forward. Fail quickly. You still have time now. You still have time. You still have time to fail and learn, keep going. But keep going. Don't stop. Another good burden is comparison. Sometimes we compare our 100 level to another person's 400 level. Imagine me comparing myself with DDK now. That would be a total disaster. I cannot. She has a journey, and it's a privilege for us to have similar visions. And I do not see a vision as being better because God doesn't see it as being better than mine. He gives us assignments. You do your own. And if he says tomorrow, next year, stop, you stop. You see what I'm saying? Because you are submitted to someone else. It's not just about you trying to build a name for yourself. You are being quick to obey. Do you understand? So no comparison. This is especially for we women on the call. Please, I beg you. It's very easy for us to fall in that comparison trap, especially when we go on social media and we are seeing the lovely things that even people that are not even up to our age, what they are doing. Like, oh my God. Is this not somebody with one head? Do I have half head? Right? So please do not compare your 100 level with another person's 400 level. Don't get stuck in comparison. Dio, you can move to the comparison slide. Don't get stuck in comparison. If you compare yourself with other people too often, you are comparing yourself with their success. On social media, self-doubt will quickly creep in. Yes. Self-doubt will quickly creep in. It's just like you comparing an apple with a tangerine. Who can tell me what is similar about these two things? An apple and a tangerine. They are both fruits, right? But can you compare them? You cannot compare them. They are even though they are both fruits, even though you are age mates, even though you are both human beings with one head, you should not compare yourself. A better way to go about it is for you to compare yourself with yourself. You compare with yourself with your last result to see how far you have come. Last year, I did this. This year, I have improved on it. That's how to better compare. In business, you say you compare apple with apple. You don't compare apple with orange. Okay? Don't compare yourself with your accountability partner. You can compare notes. So your accountability partner is a support system for you. You're supposed to be open to your accountability partner about your struggles, about what you want to achieve, and then it's supposed to help each other, not to compare yourself with your accountability partner. No. Okay? And lastly is self-doubt. Self-doubt. The reason why most of us doubt ourselves is because we've not sharpened our skill. So if you understand that I'm not so sure of myself when it comes to this particular skill, I'm not so sure of myself, go on a journey of development. You can learn, and that's where having a growth mindset comes in and not a fixed mindset about things. If your mindset is fixed and you're pushing yourself, I must do this, no. Go on a journey, on a growth, on a learning journey. In the next 2 months, I want to learn about this. I want to learn about content creation. If you're struggling with it and you're having self-doubt a lot, it's because there's a message in your mess. There's a message in it. If, for instance, you get stuck at communication or presentation at work, then it means that you need to go on a journey of learning how to present. And there are tricks to these things. There are tricks to it. Read a few books about it. Go online about it. Shadow another colleague who does it well. Practice. Talk to yourself in the mirror. Rehearse. Practice. These are tricks that help you to become a better communicator. Join Toastmasters if possible. You'll feel more confident. It's a competence gap. Okay? So self-doubt is a competence gap. And all you have to do is to go on a journey of sharpening your skill. Go on a developmental journey. Okay, so I'll move on to, I've talked about some of the growth burdens. I'm still on the mindset barrier because I believe that if you're able to overcome 80% of your mindset barriers, if you're able to overcome 20% of your mindset barriers, you'll be able to achieve 80% of your how to execute. The reason why a lot of people are stuck is because of their minds. Okay? So if you're able to identify what your own growth burden is, like I told you, before I started this coaching thing, my own growth burden was fear. I was afraid of what people would say. I was afraid of success. If I was somewhere, I was even afraid. Was I ever afraid of failure? Mine was even success. Imagine. Mine was even more of success. I was afraid. I doubted myself. And one thing I noticed this, and I don't know if anybody can relate with this. When I'm about to do something I've never done before, I'm always afraid. When I'm about to do something I've never done before. So I now notice that this is a pattern, and it's actually an indication of growth. That was why I said you have to reframe your thoughts, right? Reframe that thing. Right now, I remember last year when I spoke to my biggest audience so far, it was a group of medical lab scientists, over 1,000 of them. And as I was about to mount that stage, I began to feel afraid, right? And I recognized the pattern immediately, and I knew what to do. What I did was I focused myself on the message that I was going to deliver. I'm going to give a message. I'm able to teach and educate people on this particular topic for them to become better. So when I just psych myself up that way, I'm able to deliver. So understand your own pattern, understand your own, and then also understand your own success blueprint. For some people, your success blueprint would be staying with God. Once you are not in a good relationship with God, you will struggle. If you understand that's your own success blueprint, that once you're not in a good relationship with God, it looks like your life is even falling flat. Then it means that you will need to hold Him tightly and hold your place of fellowship tightly. For some people, Know what does not work for you. Just know what does not work for you. If last minute preparation does not work for you, that's not a success blueprint for you. Then it means that you are the kind of person that you have to prepare 2 weeks ahead. Then prepare 2 weeks ahead because it doesn't work for you. If you're married, what works for your husband might not work for you. So know what works for your husband. Know what works for you. For you, if you know that getting a lot of education before you're able to implement is what works for you, go for it. However, don't stay on that spot of just getting educated. Just do something, no matter how little it is, as led anyway. Do something about it. Because clarity reveals itself in momentum. You see what I'm saying? Know your success blueprint. I just deviated. But there are certain mindsets. I think the slide is there. Number one, the right mindset to have, right execution mindset. And a mindset is simply a sustained way of thinking. We have developed mindsets as habits over time because we continually think about this thing this way. We have a patterned way of thinking about this particular issue. So we have become accustomed to it. The first right mindset is to have the mindset of growth, the value of growth. I'm on a learning journey. I'm continually learning. I'm seeking knowledge. I am being teachable. I will keep getting better. The number two mindset, value of faith. It's a currency. It's something you can transact with. You can even transact full execution with faith. You will know that I'm getting better. I am getting better. My path will keep shining brighter and brighter. It keeps getting better for me. God has a plan for me. He has my back. He's going to work it out for me. That's you using the value of faith. So that goal that you have set, that you have written, you need to go on a journey of faith with God with it to say that this goal, it's me and God on a journey, and we are going to execute it together. Value of self-discipline and excellence. So you're also saying that it's this goal, I have to execute it like a pro. I have to execute it like a pro. Even though I might not be a pro now, but I execute it anyway. But I execute it and it keeps getting better for me. Value of gratitude. We are grateful. We are celebrating every small win. I finish this masterclass, I go and drink a bottle of Coke to say well done or whatever it is that feels to me like a reward. Every small step I take, I'm saying thank you, Father. You understand what I'm saying? Value of relationship. You don't do it alone. I have Dio on the team. I have Chineye on the team. I have some other amazing people on my team. Look for people. You can't do it alone. You can do multiple things. For instance, you can, all those things are possible if you have solid systems and teams backing those things up. You can automate some things. You will get it done. For instance, it costs 2 products you want to develop. How about you using your salary to pay someone to develop the product for you? You get an engineer on board. All you are doing is you just have 2 consulting sessions with the person. Go and develop it, pay the person off. You will develop, you will execute, in fact, within 1 week, if you have your money. If you want to write a book within 1 week, I can link you up with someone that will help you to write a book within 1 week. You just have to pay. You have to pay. So these are systems that you can leverage. If you want 100 clients in 1 day, what am I even saying? If you want 1,000 clients in 1 day, it is possible. If you can automate your coaching program, if you have the resources, why not? These are systems that you can set in place to make your dream come true. Don't be a lone ranger. You need community. You need people. You need people. Sometimes you walk up to people will say no. You walk up to people to say, I have this interesting idea I'm working on. I would like you to join me. I would like you to join me on it. Will you be willing to help me manage my social media handle? I will pay you a token at the end of the year. You invite people to your vision. Invite people to join you in executing your vision and let it also give them some value. Don't be a user. Don't use people. You understand what I'm saying? You need people. I don't know. This is the first system. I cannot overemphasize this. This is the first system that is required. You need people. You need people. Bring people on board your dream. Organizations thrive today because there are many people, multiple departments. You just look at if you're a 9 to 5 person, look at your organization, for instance. You have different people in different departments working on a common vision of the organization. So for your own personal vision also you need people, you need to bring people on board. You need probably someone to manage your email marketing, if that is the channel you want to. You need someone probably to manage your social media. You need someone to probably manage the administrative part of the work. You need someone to probably help you with graphics design. You need people, you need a community. So what you will do is just you being a leader, right? Casting the vision, aligning the team to the vision, making sure that you have channels for resources to fuel the vision. Thinking, that's the work of a leader. You are thinking, how do I improve on this product? That's where you come in, but you need people on the journey. And lastly is the value of confidence, right? For me, one of the things that helped me at the early days is to know that I get to do this thing. I get to be the one to do this thing, right? This is an assignment that I need to carry out, and I'm not alone on the journey. Quickly, I'll move on to the strategic framework for execution. And this is a divine framework that has helped me on my job and also in life for my own personal goals as well, right? So this framework was, how will I put it now? I started using this framework in 2020, or I developed this framework with the help of the Holy Spirit in 2020, and it's very simple. Dio, if you can move to the next slide, right? And the framework is called the SPARE Strategy Framework. SPARE Strategy Framework. S speaks to spirituality and sell. P, plan. P, plan. A, accountability. R, reflect and pray. E, envision. That's it. SPARE. SPARE. Okay, so that SPARE is not in what's the word, please? It's not orderly. Okay. However, I'll take you through in an orderly manner. Envision. That's the first thing. And this framework is also what, like I said, as a brand manager, I used this in also developing my brand plan and in leading the execution of the brand plan. Okay. And as a brand manager, among other brand managers, I always executed my brand plan, like most times more than 90%. More than 90%. And I just, sat down to develop a framework around it through the help of God to say, okay, what do I do differently that others probably do not do? And that was what birthed that framework. So it's tested and trusted. With this framework, I have led multi-billion naira pharmaceutical brands. With this framework, I've also led myself to, for instance, execute this program that you're part of, right? With this framework, I've also passed it on to people who have implemented their own personal and professional goals. Okay, so it's a tested and trusted framework that I'm about to share with you. And if you're able to follow this framework, you will know how to execute. So this is the icing on the cake for today's masterclass. So the first thing is to envision. You need a vision. Why? Because this vision is what will help you to jump out of bed for you to execute. If there is no vision, if it's just for you to tick the box, it's just a matter of time to fizzle out. So you need a sense of where you are going, a sense of the long term, a sense of the big picture, right? And you need to write it down. It may not make sense to you now. It may be highfalutin now, but fix your gaze on things that cannot be seen. You see what I'm saying? So you need to create that compelling vision. Make it fun, make it lively, make it relatable, make it something that you can connect with in a deep sense. Stop focusing on the goals. Make the vision visible instead. Stop focusing on the goal. You see? So after envisioning, sell this goal of helping people to become better individuals through the quality of my work. For instance, if that is my vision, then I sell it to myself. What is the value of this vision? What value does it bring to the customer or the people? What value does it bring to me? There's a framework like that. Customer value, company value. Company in this case is you. So you need to map it out and sell the benefits to yourself. When I begin to do this thing, the people that I serve will be able to execute their God-given goals. And I will feel fulfilled. I will make impact. I'll make income. I will build my influence. That is balanced. I am helping people and then I am fulfilling purpose. You see what I'm saying? So you need to see the value in that vision. That's selling. So if if it's something that would also require a team, you will sell it to your team. They need to believe it. They need to see it. Blessed are those who believe without seeing. You need to make them believe it. So, for instance, you want to start coaching people. The goal is not to be a coach. The goal is for you to be someone who transforms and impacts lives. What do you think about that? Is that not motivating to you? And you will become proud because you're now connecting it with your identity. You become proud of the identity you are forming through a sold goal. Are we together? I feel like I'm talking to myself. Can you relate?
We can hear you. Yeah, we can relate.
Okay,
Can hear you now.
Thank you. Okay. So connect the vision to who you are going to become. You're not just going to become a coach. You're going to become someone who transforms and impacts other people's lives to become better. You're going to become someone who makes a difference in other people's lives. I'm using coaching because I see 2 people here at least have interest in that. Or 3 people. Okay? The goal is not for you to write. The goal is for you to become a thought leader. That's more convincing. That is related to an identity. So link your goal to an identity and sell it to yourself. Sell it to yourself. And just imagine the benefits to you. Imagine the benefits to the customer. Imagine the benefits to your creator. Imagine how you're going to make the world a better place when you begin to do this. So if, for instance, you want to learn to play an instrument, that's not the goal. The goal is for you to become a musician. The goal is not for you to worry less. The goal is for you to live free and full. The goal is not for you to get married. The goal is for you to become a wife. There's a difference. The goal is not to finish the course. The goal is to become a premium executive. That's the goal. It's who you are becoming. So I want you to, that's your first task from this masterclass. Rephrase your goal to become motivating and aligned to who you are going to become. Then I move on to the next S, spirituality. I have emphasized a lot of it during this course. Okay? You need to change. You need to change your orientation of goal execution. It's not about kitty kata kata kata. Oh, how do you say it? It's not about strength. No, by strength shall no man prevail. You need to understand the spiritual connection of your goal to the bigger picture of the creator. Fix it on him. You get to do it. Okay? Your effort is important, but not just efforts only. Not just efforts only. And guess what? Your vision can be disrupted at any time. Allow him. There's a better end when that happens. There was a time I was running with the vision of becoming one of the foremost, how do I even use it? Milliner. I used to call it a milliner. So millinery is the act of arts and crafts, using, all this materials for making hearts, for making jewelry. I'm very good with my hands, even up till now, So I used to make bags, make Ankara. I was one of the first people in Lagos that started using Ankara as crafts, as jewelry, accessories, and I sold a lot. In fact, I used to exhibit in front of D-Star Christian Outreach Center, right? I was training different people, batch upon batch upon batch, as a new graduate then. When I was still in my brother's house, I'll put a canopy in front of the house. Every Saturday, I would train different batches of people. So I've been teaching people a long time, right? But when it was time for me to stop, it was hard, but I knew I had to stop. It was an instruction. So your spirituality will give you that clarity. And I've stopped and now transferred to something else. But then I still have the skill and I can use it to impact lives, in the future. So that's it for spirituality is very important. It's very critical if you want your goal to thrive and last long, right? You need to apply your faith. You need to understand the place of the grace that you have to fulfill that vision. And you keep growing your faith. There will be barriers, there will be turbulence, but your faith will see you through. Okay? Planning. This is where some people fail. Planning is most critical, and it starts with journaling. If you have been saying journaling, if you are not someone that journals and you are in this program, you are just deceiving yourself. You need to start writing. Write all the dreams of your heart. Write it down. Planning is very important for success. Okay? Write it down. Prioritize it. Understand the different habits that you will need to cultivate in order to become that person. Atomic Habits, please get that book. Get that book. We would need it. Right? When your goal is too big, break it down. Planning helps you to prioritize. Establish which goal is short-term, mid-term, or long-term. That's what planning helps you to do. Because of time, I have to quickly move. Okay, so plan your goal. If you are not good with planning, hire someone to plan for you. At Growcircle Academy, we help people with individual growth planning. If it's for your individual growth, we help people with that. We help people, we can refer you to someone who can help you to do a business plan. If you need a business plan. However, a good place for you to start, if you want to do it yourself, you can do it yourself, actually. A good place for you to start is for you to just start writing what all the dreams on your heart, write who you think your target customers are, write the different channels you think you can reach them, do some desktop research about that particular business or dream or goal, do some desktop research, put all your ideas. You will have a business, but you will have clarity. Then now have a step-by-step plan, what you want to do in the short term, mid-term, and long term. If, however, you need an execution consultant for this, we are ready to support you in the process. Accountability, that's the A of the SPARE strategy. Have an accountability system. Now, you have a vision for your goal. You have sold your goal to yourself. You have clarity. You are releasing your faith for the goal to happen. You have planned your goal. You have a business plan. You have a clear individual development plan. And I mean, that individual development plan is very important because growth starts with you. You as a person, you need to first understand what your growth has. So if your goal is related to your personal growth, then you need an individual development plan, IDP. If it is related to a business, you need a business plan. Okay, so have a plan and then have accountability. Have accountability. So accountability speaks to you submitting your goal to a network of people that you can rely on. A network of people who could serve as, for instance, coaches, who could serve as mentors, and these are people that have experience or even might not have experience, but have knowledge to guide you in the process of achieving that goal. Submit your goal to an accountability partner, someone who can put you on your toes, right? Submit your goal to even other support systems like a nanny, not your goal in this case now, but have a system of helpers around you who can help you to handle other things while you focus on your goal. So these are accountability system. Mentorship. Every visionary goal smasher needs a mentor. You cannot see beyond a certain level without a mentor. You need a mentor. You need someone who has gone ahead of you in that field that you can copy. At this phase, it's okay to copy and imitate. Imitate until you now gain your own blueprint. You can still imitate, but you will evolve with time. Don't copy with pride. Please put it there in the chat box. I copy with pride. Copy with, provided you are copying on what is your own, not because that is the in thing. No. Copy with pride before you can now become ingenious and begin to innovate and you begin to do things the way you want it, that is unique to you. But if you dab, and guess what? You're not the only person doing that thing in this whole world. There are people that have gone ahead of you. You can reach out to them as mentors. Reach out to them as mentors. Okay? So, and then the last and not the least is the R. R speaks to reflection. Reflection. I like to see reflection as a process of excavating the germs in your experiences. Ah, gosh. If every one of us, we can reflect more than we talk, you'll be amazed at the level of wisdom that is in you as a person. You will be amazed. But because we just want to do this, we get onto the next without taking our time. For instance, Q1 is over. What are you planning to do on Monday and Tuesday? Are you planning to take out some time to reflect? What has worked well? Ask critical questions. What did I do? When was I most fulfilled in Q1? What gave me the most joy? What am I most grateful for? How was I there for my family? What is most critical? Ask yourself questions. And through the help of God, answer those questions. You will excavate germs, gold from your own experience. But because we move quickly, move. No, take out time to pause. Pause. And then whatever germs or wisdom you get from pausing, you will now use it in the next phase of your execution. Is it clear? The room is so quiet today. Is it clear? Is it clear? Let me know if it's clear. Okay, so some quick thoughts about accountability. For some people, the reason why most people don't leverage, see, if you don't do everything and you set yourself a system of accountability, you will still achieve something. You will still achieve something, 100%. If you do not do anything, I'm repeating myself. If you do not do anything and you just have an accountability system, you will still achieve. You did not plan, you did not envision, you did not release your faith, you did not, what else did I say? You did not reflect after a milestone, and you have an accountability system, you will still execute. Who can tell me why? The execution might now not make sense, but you will still, it might not be aligned to your purpose or might not make sense to your own unique journey, but you will still execute. You will still execute. So that's why you need to leverage your accountability partners. You have accountability partners that can help you on this journey. Accountability is magical, like I always say. It helps. The mere fact that you have somebody checking up on you to say that, have you done that thing? It helps you to make progress. Helps you to make progress. Some of you would say you don't want to rely on others. That's a limiting mindset. Or you say, people are too busy. I don't want to be a parasite. See, life is an algorithm of value. When you give value, you get value. You are being a parasite because you're not giving value. If you give value to me, I will give value to you. That's how life is. If you want me to hold you accountable, you give value to me, I will give value to you. I will hold you accountable. I have coaching clients, for instance, that are my one-on-one coaching clients, right? They need to give value for me to give them my time. They are not being parasites. So if you don't want to reach out to that mentor because you don't want to be a parasite, it's a limiting mindset. Just know that life is an algorithm of value. It's because you are not ready to give value. If you listen to my podcast on mentoring, the one I sent to the group this week, you will understand that sometimes you take your mentors out. Next time they will give you listening ears. In fact, even the wisdom that was not there before will come out just because you have sowed a seed. I'm telling you these tips because they work. Every quarter, I have a session with my mentor, my career, and I have mentor for different aspects of my life. My career mentor, for instance, is not in Nigeria. But I ensure I've already booked my session for Q2. I already did Q1. I already gave him a progress update on the things I have done. And then Q2, I'll have a session with him this coming week. It's important, please. Life is an algorithm, and I give value. Before he left the country, I ensured I took him out. We had a nice time together. And as much as possible, I also help to support his vision. I help to support his vision. If I see something that I think is going to help him, I send it to him. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm giving value, I will not feel like I'm being a parasite to him. That's how mentoring relationship is mutual. It's mutual. It's both ways. Okay? And then another person will say, nobody can do my things the way I want it done. You are being a perfectionist. Oh my God. It will take a long time for you to execute. It will limit your progress that way. It will lead to wear and tear. Please execute by being accountable to other people. What if they say no? What if they say yes? I'm not a friendly person naturally. I acquired the skill of friendliness. These are some reasons why people are not accountable. Last but not the least, I'll quickly talk about some systems that you can put in place for your personal and professional goals. The first system I'll talk about is people system, and I can overemphasize it. I've talked about the value of relationship. I talked about people, and then accountability requires people as well. So you need people. You need a team. If you want to execute, you need a team of people. Assemble a group of people. Let God lead you to the right people. If, for instance, your goal is to pass your exam, a professional exam, there are people that have passed it that you can leverage on. I remember when I was wanted to do my last CIM, Charter Institute of Marketing level 6, it was the value of relationship or my accountability system that helped me to finish that course. I would not have finished it by myself because I reached out to someone who had done it before, and I was complaining to her that this thing is so hard, blah, blah. And then just a word of encouragement and then some tips she gave me helped me to push through. So you need people as well as accountability partners. You need a team of experts to help you handle the aspects that you might not be able to handle or have time to handle. That's a system. Then you need, if you now have a team, you need to organize the team to handle different tasks. You need that. That's a system. Then you need a code of conduct system if it is an organization, such that when people default, they know what the consequences are. It's important if you are setting up a business. I'm going to give you an extra, I'll bring somebody to have a class with you on setting a system for your business. She does that for a living, so I could speak to her to do that before the end of the program. I think it will be beneficial for those of us that have business goals. However, on a personal level, you need a personal value system as well to say that these are my value system. This is the way I conduct myself as an individual. If you don't have a value system, you fall for nothing. It's a system of values. My value is faith. My value is excellence. My value is courage. You need that kind of value to say that my value is integrity. Accountability system. That's another system you need. You need a mentor. You need a coach. You need a coach. If you need a one-on-one coach, let us know. But you have your coaching squad leads who are there to handhold you and hold you throughout the program. Many of you are not leveraging them, and it's okay if you think you do not need them, but you are missing out if you're not. You need a system of reward and recognition. That's another system. Reward yourself first with your small wins. It's a system. Yes, it's a system. Then now going to the technical aspect of system setting. You need a payment system for your vision. If you're setting up that coaching course and it's going to be a paid, you need a system to help you with tracking payments and accounting. You need technology systems. If you are going to be using email marketing, you need a CRM, customer relationship management system that will help you. There are quite a number of free emailing systems these days that you can use as a channel of communication or marketing to your customers. You need a calendar. For me, that's my best technology tool or productivity tool. If you see my calendar, I've put everything there. You need a calendar. It's a system. Do you know the reason why you attend those meetings at work? It's because somebody has put it on your calendar. It's because somebody has said every Monday morning you have meeting between 8 and 9. That's a system. You need to have that kind of system for yourself. Say, me too. Every 6 to 7, every day, I focus on my coaching program. I focus on something related to my business. It's a system. It's a calendar system. You need that kind of system. Social media is a system. It's a system. So I call it a system and a tool because it can help you to, publicize what you're doing. See it as a tool. And it's also a system. I know somewhere, I was listening to Tara Jotori recently during the International Women's Day speech she gave at Zenith. And she mentioned, was it at Zenith? One of her speeches. And then she mentioned that every year for her business, she always hired the PR company. Imagine, I picked that immediately to say, you need PR. You see people doing newspaper publication. You see people calling TV stations to come and cover their events. It's a PR system, pushing out a narrative about your business. You are building your business. Have you ever hired a PR company? That's a system that could help you to scale your business. That will help you to shape the narrative of your business. Then you need a personal developmental system, for instance, a learning system, because as you are executing, you also need to be learning. You learn as you execute, but then you need to put yourself in an environment that will help you to keep learning. Like in this coaching program, for instance, you have courses that you are reading or you are doing to help you to become better in executing your vision. Remember, learning or education is just 10%. What you need is experience. Start doing. That's what you need. Create routines. Before I sleep every day, or I wake up by 1 a.m. to work on my vision. I wake up by 2 a.m. to pray. I wake up, have systems, 5:30 a.m. I'm up, create tiny routines that could help your vision. So for someone writing a curriculum, for instance, you can decide that twice every week, 3 times every week, I make sure I write for 30 minutes. I make sure I write for 1 hour. That's a routine that you are incorporating into your already packed routine. If I look at your routine, I will tell you who you are becoming. Yes, I can tell who you are becoming just by looking at your routine. So with this, I have come to the end of the masterclass. And on a final note, what I want to leave with you is this. Until you start, you will never see the miracle. The longer you wait to do something you should do now, the greater the odds that you will ever do it. That's by Maxwell Leadership. The longer you wait to do something you should do now, the greater the odds that you would ever do it. So I want you to be a doer, be execution biased. You know how to execute. It's not a question of you not knowing how. You just need to set the right environment. You need to uncover all the mindset barriers. You need to plan. You need to release your faith and use the SPARE framework. What is my vision? Who am I becoming? Sell it to yourself. Who is holding me accountable to this vision? What is my plan? What is my plan for this vision? Break it down step by step. What is my plan for this vision? And lastly, what are my small wins from time to time that I can encourage myself on? With these few points of mine, I hope I've been able to convince you and teach you about how to become a better executor or how to execute excellently. Thank you. Over to you, Dio. Questions? Do we have questions? Have I been talking to myself?
All right, please, let's respond. Thank you, Chia, for that class. Okay, so we'd like to take questions now. Anybody with questions?